Okay, sometimes you hear about something and it just, stops you in your tracks. Like, wait, what?
Uh-huh.
That was definitely the feeling with this recent news about the Sinaloa cartels, the U.S. government, and, well, cartel family members crossing the border.
Absolutely. It's a situation that really needs a closer look. So today, that's our mission. Let's unpack these confirmed reports.
And then we got some solid sources here. Reports confirmed by Mexico's security chief, Omar Garcia Harfuch, plus reporting from independent journalist Luz Chaparro.
Right. So let's get into it. The core fact. 17 family members, relatives of Ovidio Guzman Lopez of the Sinaloa Cartel, they crossed from Tijuana into the U.S. just last week.
And it wasn't sneaking across. They apparently walked, suitcases and all, right over to waiting U.S. agents. It's quite an image.
It really is, and the context here is important. Ovidio Guzman Lopez, he's one of El Chapo Guzman's sons.
Right.
After his father was imprisoned, then extradited, Ovidio and his brothers kept running a big part of the Sinaloa Cartel. He himself was extradited to the U.S. just last year, 2023.
Okay, so this crossing, Mexico's Security Secretary, Garcia Harfuch, he doesn't think it was just random. He's actually suggesting it was part of some negotiation.
Yeah, like maybe an offer from the U.S. Department of Justice to Ovidio Guzman Lopez.
Which kind of tracks, because didn't his lawyer say something earlier about them exploring negotiations?
Precisely. That's what Garcia Harfuch seems to believe. His take is that Guzman Lopez is likely cooperating now. Maybe pointing fingers, as they say, at other criminal groups.
So possibly trading information.
Exactly. Trading intel for, well, maybe considerations for himself and perhaps protection or safe passage for his family. It suggests a potential shift in U.S. tactics, maybe prioritizing intelligence.
So how did Mexico react? Garcia Harfuch said they knew about the crossing.
Mm-hmm. And apparently none of these family members were being pursued by Mexican authorities at the time.
Interesting. He also mentioned something about expecting information sharing from the U.S., maybe related to earlier talks under the Trump administration, but that it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, that point was made. It sort of hints at maybe some friction or at least, questions about the communication between the two countries on this.
Right. And then the timing. This confirmation comes out right as the U.S. Attorney General's office announces these big charges.
Yes. Charges against top cartel leaders for narcoterrorism, which is a significant designation.
First time since the Trump administration labeled some cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, right?
That's the understanding. It allows for different legal tools, different approaches.
But feels almost like sending a message, doesn't it? Because right after that, U.S. Attorney Adam Gordon gives this really strong warning.
Oh, yeah. Very direct. He specifically names the Sinaloa Cartel.
And says what? Something like, "You're no longer the hunters, you are the hunted." Pretty dramatic.
Very. And he added phrases like being betrayed by your friends and ending up in a courtroom in the Southern District of California. It's a clear threat. No ambiguity there.
But then, when asked about the video of the family actually crossing,
Silence. U.S. prosecutors apparently declined to comment on that specific event, the family crossing.
so it leaves a lot hanging, a lot of questions about what this specific arrangement, if there is one, actually entails.
Mm-hmm.
So, wrapping this up, the key thing is this really unprecedented situation. Family members of a major cartel figure moving into the U.S., seemingly under some kind of deal.
Yeah, it highlights just how complex and honestly how murky the strategies can get in dealing with these powerful cartels.
It certainly does.
And it leaves you, the listener, with something to think about. What does it mean to negotiate with figures like this? What's the balance between getting immediate intelligence versus the potential long-term consequences for justice, for international relations?
What does this whole episode really tell us about how the drug war itself might be changing?
Exactly. Something to mull over.